Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. We're taking another look here at Gala, seeing what's going on. We got this nice little cup and handle breakout. Technically, it only wicked down to 6.18, the Fibonacci level there at 0.618, but we're going to talk about the back-end data here and kind of see roughly what's going on with Gala. So if you're new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I love to teach people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today, and if you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is a site. We have a trading academy community and signals group where I teach you how to trade, but also share with you all the trade signals that I take. I have a day trading bot that basically scalps a few trading pairs, such as Matic 21%, second trade with 21%, BNB 13, Matic 36, 22, XRP 30, the list goes on. Also, some congrats to our community members here. Some Avalanche trade we just took yesterday, 43%. And of course, a little bit older Matic trade there as well. You can see Matic is a favorite. We got an Atom trade to 74, XRP, AVAX, Matic, Sol, Matic, just the list goes on. Cardano, whatever you say, whatever you want, it's all there. All right, so either way you look at it, why don't we go ahead and take a quick look here at the 4-hour time frame for starters, and then we'll jump into the back-end data really quick. So I just want to kind of acknowledge that we're still converging on the MACD, super strong. We are still converging on this stochastic RSI as well as the money flow index being very high. Okay, so RSI is good. Everything's fine as long as the money is flowing into the coin, right? Because again, MFI is a big deal. When money starts flowing away from coins, you start to see the price pull back. So we always want to pay attention to volume. Let's take a quick look in the back end here and see what's the haps, right? So we got a lot of different information here. Okay, so to clarify liquidation, I get the question a lot. What is liquidation? What does it mean? These are just areas that are going to get liquidated if, of course, the price crosses that level, right? So if you've taken any leverage position, you'll know that it tells you where you're going to be liquidated. That's 100% in the wrong direction, basically. So right down here, we have a lot of folks and a lot of longs here that likely opened their position back roughly sometime yesterday when the price bottomed out to roughly 2.8 cents. Okay, so 2.8 is effectively not a support level, but just an area that people feel that there's support at that level. It's probably a Fibonacci retracement level, but generally speaking, that's where we see a lot of concentration. So that really just implies here that with very few shorts entering the market just above the price action right now, that could be the next target for Gala. So that said, really nothing that is going to be stark and just like completely surprising here. Makes sense that a lot of longs are in profit from yesterday, okay? Because again, obviously the price shot up with this cup and handle pattern and effectively bouncing out that 0.618 level there. Okay, so again, a lot of liquidation in this range here. Okay, we got a little bit of liquidation just up here at about 3.3, as we can see in the charts there, but generally speaking, not that much. So what does that mean for us? Well, it doesn't mean the price is just going to drop. It just implies that the price action could retrace to that level if it does, or it'll hit that level if it comes close. That said, the daily time frame is still very bullish. There's nothing that's changed here on the daily time frame that really is stark and out of the ordinary. We do see stochastic starting to swing down. This is a potential reversal, but that's just the very first swing. I typically like to look at the second to give me full-on confirmation of the price going to pull back. In other words, if you see stochastic RSI just kind of hitting the top here, for example, oftentimes it's a second divergence that you see the price action pull back, not the first. The same thing goes with the convergence to the upside. So I'm not super concerned with stochastic RSI personally. I love that the money flow index and the RSI are high. Okay, so we're looking good on the daily. We're looking pretty darn good on the 4-hour. Let's quickly see if there's any other liquidity levels we can't see, which we still have a fair value down to about 2.8. Big surprise, that's right where all the leverage is at. Okay, so again, we've already talked about that. If we take a quick look here at Elliott Wave on the 4-hour time frame, we can kind of acknowledge that the price action, what we can do is we can update these fibs here to go ahead and reflect that a little more accurately. Just that way when I send out my playout chart, you can kind of see what that looks like. So generally speaking, what we're looking at here, if the price were to pull back, just to give you a heads up, oftentimes it'll come back down to test a most recent high, which is roughly this area here between 3.2 to 3.23 or 3.24. Okay, so this little channel here should work as a support. If that fails, we have a secondary, tertiary, and the fourth essentially. So we got 3.1, 3.16, 3.1, and 3.04. Okay. Again, I'll send the playout chart through Twitter, Telegram, and Discord just so you can kind of see it. It's a little easier to visualize, but generally speaking, these are the levels we want to focus on for entry if the price were to pull back to that level. I personally don't think we're going to see that, but we do have our average true range for the last roughly weeks worth of trading since the beginning of the month at about 3.1. Okay, so 3.1, that 0.5 in Fibonacci's is going to be that potential support level for us. which does imply if you have a long position with liquidation at 2.8, you might be in good shape. And again, I want to emphasize the word might because sometimes they'll send these nasty candle wicks, right? It'll be like this, then all of a sudden, whoop, whoop, and it just turns right around. It's so obnoxious how they do that, but just know that is a possible reality. Again, less likely, of course, but still something we got to be mindful of. Last thing here we want to touch on would be TD sequential. And just to quickly note here, with TD sequential, we want to recognize if we're overextended. We're at a 9, but we're consolidating nicely here. Okay, so this does look like somewhat of a pennant pattern. A lot of coins actually have this kind of pattern forming right now based on how Bitcoin has behaved recently. So I'm not super sold on that breaking out, being a smaller time frame here, but it is important to recognize that it's starting to consolidate at this 3.3 level, and the likelihood of further upside is greater than pulling back due to the fact that we are consolidating nicely at this range. Okay. Now, if the price was just up to a 9 initially, and we have, quite a few other factors that are leading us to believe the price could pull back, I would perhaps say different. But all the other signs we see here so far are truly bullish. And we also can recognize too here on the Ichimoku cloud that is going to be consolidating here. The cloud is forming right there at about 3.2. So the price does end up pulling back. We will see a potential bounce off that level. I think 3.2 will hold fairly strong if the price is retested. I'd be looking for an entry in that level, so I'll just go ahead and set an alert to reevaluate if it gets into that zone. But between now and then, we have no reason to expect the price to pull back. The lagging span's free and clear. Conversion line and baseline are identical, which actually is kind of I wouldn't say cause for concern, but something you want to be mindful on the fact that it's an indication letting us know momentum has discontinued to the upside. Big surprise, you can kind of already see it on the charts, right? But it is technically a sell signal for a long position as a conservative indicator. Okay, in other words, with us losing that momentum, there could be potential for the price to pull back, and that's kind of how that works. Okay, so just know that's potential there. We take a look at our 15-minute time frame. We can see we got some green lights here from our CC Gold indicator, just kind of indicating that we're on the right side of tracks. We're in good shape here. We had some overextensions here recently. Profits should have been taken here at about 3.3, and if you considered another entry, it should continue further up from here. Okay, again, a lot of different things go into these indicators here, but generally speaking, what I'm looking for here would be a potential retracement to the 3.2 and to buy that dip. If I miss out, so be it. I don't care. It's okay. We got plenty of profit to choose from. Speaking of profit, congrats to some of our community members here. We got some fantastic community members here. Matic, nice, very nice Matic long there from Goose. We can see the same thing here as well. Camp 420 over here at 140 USDT. That's awesome. And then very last here, one of my favorite traders, just because consistently taking profits and making sure they close the position, even if it's a little early. I love to see that. Nice 10x trade here from Providence 71. And of course, if you're not already using Bitunix, you can see down below, we're partnered with them. No KYC, no VPN. Make sure you use the link down below to register. You get a significant amount of rewards for just utilizing the exchange. And you'll come to find out you really like them too, because everyone that's transitioned over enjoys using the exchange. They're just easy to use. I got a walkthrough as well down below if you're curious on how to use it, but I highly recommend that. They're doing very well, especially with no KYC or VPN requirements. Mainly, they have trailing stop losses and additional profit targets that you can take or set in your trade. And that's what I like to try to talk to my members about too, is always go into a trade with a goal. You have more than one profit target, you're doing it right. Okay, that's how you want to try to strategize. You take a % per target and effectively slowly close out your position. You're averaging out or in effectively depending on the direction. All right, so again, just some things there. Either way, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something here today. Comment below. Please like the video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.